Tom, he exceeded my expectations, but you and I were speaking a few days ago, so as you know, my expectations were very low indeed. But I would say this is not bad, not half bad. He's moved some things in the right direction. It is definitely a mitigation budget. It's not a magical budget. If anybody thinks or thought that the Chancellor could solve the cost of living problems, which you've highlighted in your introduction, well, he can't. He can only mitigate them. This will go some way to mitigating them. The bare truth is that most people in Britain, pretty much everybody in Britain, is likely to be poorer in 12 months' time than they are today, in large part due to inflation, rising energy prices, rising food bills and the like. And Tom, you've rightly said the tax burden continues to go up. But I think we saw from Rishi Sunak yesterday something of a course correction. The tax burden would have been going up a lot higher if he hadn't taken some of the moves that he has, namely raising the national insurance threshold, which you highlighted very substantially, raising that by £3,000, fuel duty cut. And of course, he's signalled that he's going to cut income tax by a penny in 2 years' time. And that's a welcome move as well. I wish he'd brought that forward, though.
It's interesting you mentioned the tax burden there, because I've been looking at this graph from the OBR response to the statement, the OBR's fiscal outlook. And I believe we can show this graph up on our screen now as well, which shows all of the different tax rises in green and then the tax cuts in red. And those three tax cuts on fuel duty freezing, the income tax 1p basic rate cut, but that's in the future, and of course that increase in thresholds for national insurance, those three cuts are very, very small compared to those big tax rises, whether it's the income tax threshold freezes, the health and social care levy, the underlying forecast changes and inherited tax system as well, so the stuff that was going to go ahead anyway. All of that makes this a pretty hefty tax burden.
Oh, there's no doubt about that, Tom. And as this graph rather elegantly shows, yes, the tax burden has gone up under Rishi Sunak. There's no two ways about it. But perhaps we've reached the top of that mountain. There's a long way to climb down the other side if you want Britain to become a genuine low-tax economy. At the moment, our tax burden is as high as it's been since Clement Attlee ran the post-war socialist government. Absolutely extraordinary to be in that situation after, 12 years or so of a Conservative-led government. So, yeah, there's much, much further to go. I'm not suggesting that with one wave of his magic tax-cutting wand, Rishi Sunak has waved away all of the tax rises that he's previously brought in. I think if I'm right from the OBR report, their view is that for every £6 of tax that he has raised, that he's put up, yesterday he only obliterated £1 of that. So a long way to go. But the trajectory now, I feel, might be in the right direction.